Everything was fine, and then I just fell apart. Actually, no, everything wasn't fine before. Maybe you suffered an event, a one-time event like a car crash, a fall, and then suddenly you can't function anymore. You're in bed, you are fatigued. COVID can be one of those things. You're fatigued and you can't work, and you're wondering what happened. It was just a fall, a car crash. Or maybe it was over a period, something emotionally stressful, like relationship challenges, you're going through a breakup or a divorce, or work is stressful. And you're like, I used to be this vibrant, amazing person, social and doing all these things. And what happened? And for me, that was the ending of a PhD and then going on a 6-day backcountry ski trip over. We climbed 3 mountain ranges to get to the hut and skied out again. And my body was already depleted at that point. So would I have done that a few years earlier? Maybe I would have been fine. But at that moment, it tipped my body over the edge. So why does that happen? There's this thing called allostatic load. That is the capacity or how much stress our body can hold and still function. As the allostatic load gets bigger, it becomes less easy for the body to function in a homeostasis. So what are these things? They are trapped stressors, aka trauma. But things like attachment wounds growing up, so emotional wounds. It can also be prenatal, so birth trauma, in utero trauma, so that's perinatal. It can be physical trauma, lots of falls, like let's say you were a sporty person and you fell a lot. I did ski racing, or you do horse riding, ice skating, whatever it is, soccer. You have like that physical like jolt. Over time, when we have many of those jolting experiences, that can end up in our body piling up that tension. So that's trauma too. It can be chemical stressors, so environmental stressors that overwhelm our body's ability to be back in balance. What other traumas are there? Anyways, those are just to name a few. And when they're not resolved, the unresolved sensations, emotions, they stay stuck in our body. And when they're stuck, there's that part of us that can't function in flow with the system. And it sends constant signals back to our brain that we're not okay, we're not okay, we're not okay. And over time, when we have many, many of those, and then in our adult life, we're stressed out, we don't have proper anxiety management skills, we're not in good relationships and all that stuff, they pile up in our system. And maybe our lifestyle isn't healthy and we're not moving properly or moving too much, which is also a stressor. And maybe you're not eating healthy, not sleeping enough. All these things pile up. And then, like the straw that breaks the camel's back, at some point the body can't cope, and then it feels like everything falls apart because the body doesn't have the capacity to keep it up anymore. The good news is that this can be healed, and healing is done best in a titrated way, which means to slowly release the stuck stressors. Because if you try to go too deep too soon, you actually re-traumatize your system, or it creates more stress. Since you don't have the capacity to feel the magnitude of the sensations, the emotions, maybe memories, it'll be too overwhelming. So slow down, see a practitioner that does somatic experiencing, for example, they work in a more titrated way, and slowly start easing the system and removing the stresses from the outside, and then gain the capacity to feel more sensation, to be with more emotions, and then you can start touching the deeper layers. And this takes time, and it's good that we do it slowly, because the body then has the ability to integrate the release and then the expansion that follows. In summary, everything wasn't fine before you fell apart. There was likely stuck stress, stuck anxiety, aka trauma that hasn't been processed yet. And the path to healing is to work in a titrated, gentle way over a long period of time, and gaining capacity to feel what hasn't been able to be resolved in the past. If you're interested in working with me and going deeper in this, comment, or if you relate to this topic and want to start a conversation, please comment as well. I'm happy to start a conversation with you. Thank you.